Hello guys, I'm looking at an article right here, and it says, Jim Rogers exclusive, sub $1,000 gold coming. Now, you know what? There's a lot of people out there in the market right now, and they're scared to actually buy gold and silver. And they see things like this article, Jim Rogers, $1,000 gold coming, and they're scared to buy into the gold and silver market because that would mean $11 silver, roughly, $1,000 gold. And Jim Rogers is waiting for this $1,000 gold, and they're saying, well, gee, we'll get on the bandwagon too, and we'll buy some of that $1,000 gold too, just like Jim Rogers. I mean, why be stupid? Why buy it when it's more expensive? Why not buy it when it's cheaper? Now, I'm going to talk to you a little bit, and I'm going to explain to you one of the reasons why it is entirely possible that Jim Rogers may be correct. Now, but hold your horses before you go saying, I'm going to sell all my gold and my silver. Hold your horses, boys, because when I'm done talking, you'll realize that would be a huge mistake. Okay, but what I'm going to say is it is possible Jim Rogers might be right, but it's going to be under very, 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 very special circumstances that you would get this cheap gold and cheap silver. First off, what we're headed into right now, we're headed into a deflationary event. That's what we're headed toward. And if the Federal Reserve does not change their policy of quantitative tightening, we are going to have this deflationary event. Now, when people go out there and they get loans from the bank and stuff, they assess value of things. Everything is assessed value, generally in U.S. dollars. So they might come in and say your house is worth $250,000 and your business is worth $250,000. This means you're worth half of $500,000, and we're going to extend you a loan on this basis, a floor plan from the bank that's going to cover your business and home and extend you credit so you can expand your business or whatever. And this is all well and fine and good, provided there's no margin calls. Now, when all these businesses get in trouble, these bankers get in trouble and stuff, and they put the margin calls out there because the system is actually collapsing and folding in upon itself, one guy calls his loans in, and the next guy he called his loans in from has to call all his loans in from the other people that have loans extended out from him. And it keeps spreading in an ever-expanding way. When all these margin calls actually start to hit, people are going to actually start to sell their assets, and out of fear, too, they're going to want to be holding cash. They all are. And they're going to sell anything that's not tied down for whatever they can get for it. This includes cryptocurrencies, because this is deflation. It's all well, fine, and good to make speculative investments when the markets are moving up and everything, and there's a lot of money washing through the system. But the Federal Reserve is sucking that money out as fast as they can right now, and so are all the other central banks. They're sucking the liquidity out of the system. There's going to come a certain point when all of a sudden the system's going to cave in to the pressures of this deflationary event that the Fed's generating. Now, this is what Jim Rogers is waiting for, and he's waiting for his $1,000 gold. Now, he's the only guy that's talking. There's probably a number of other rich guys, like himself, that are waiting for their $1,000 gold. And these guys are connected. And what I mean by that is they know how to work the markets like you know how to breathe. These guys know what they're doing. They've got trading bots and everything, and they've got friends in the market, and when they go out to buy the $1,000 gold, they're going to get some. Even though the thing is going to spike downward probably in the middle of the night down to 1,000. It's probably going to last all of 15 minutes. Right? The spike is going to be a big red candle going down to 15 to $1,000. It's going to last all of 10 minutes. It's going to be in the middle of the night while you're asleep. These guys got their trading bots in there, and they're going to buy it. Now, okay, pretend it's Jim Rogers, and he's bought his $1,000 gold. It lasted for 15 minutes in the middle of the night. Now gold prices shot back up to $1,200. But he got some of the $1,000 stuff during the deflation. Okay? What do you think he's going to do? He is going to only take delivery. The rich people did not get rich by being stupid. He's not going to want paper contracts. He's not going to want to settle for paper contracts. He's only going to want the real physical. And he's going to be standing there on delivery. When that stuff comes in there, he's going to be personally there with his testing kit, probably testing every single bar. Because rich people did not get rich from being stupid. As the stuff goes into his vault from the vaulting company, Jim Rogers will be standing there testing every single bar to make sure he's getting quality merchandise. And he ain't going to be taking paper silver. So we've established that. But not just him and all of his buddies. And these guys are billionaires. They're not going to be buying small quantities. Now, what about the difference between world inventories of gold and silver and the amount of gold and silver that's actually available for sale in the physical form? These are two very different numbers. First off, world gold that's available for delivery is not the same thing as world inventories. World inventories of gold and silver are vastly high. It's a vastly higher number. There's vastly more silver available out there in world inventories, but it's not available for sale. How much is available for sale? These guys are going to scoop it all up because they're so filthy rich and the price is going to go down so filthy low. They're going to buy it all up in the middle of the night and they're going to want delivery of the real physical stuff. Now, I'm going to tell you what, and this has entered into my mind, that a lot of you guys has got your gold or your silver stored with a vaulting company. That silver is possibly owned by as many as 100 different people because of the way they've done the physical paper silver short contracts. So once it goes into the vaulting company, the bank owns the vaulting company, and what they've done is they have actually sold that silver to 100 or even 1,000 different clients that actually own the same silver that you own that's in the vaulting company. Because you don't have it in physical, you have a contract saying that you own it. And so does 1,000 other people. Guess who they're going to get delivered from? The vaulting company is who's going to settle the order so they don't have a failure to delivery with Jim Rogers. And he's going to be taking your silver or your gold out of the vault, and he's going to be testing it and putting it into his vault. Good luck getting it back. Now, there's another thing to consider. Another big thing to consider is, first off, like I say, this price is probably going to only last a few minutes in the middle of the night. You're not going to get in on it. And if you're not in the club of the rich guys, you're not going to get in on any of this. They're going to scoop it all up ahead of you and create a shortage. Now, once they create this shortage, what's going to happen to the price of gold and silver when there's a shortage on the other end? Have you considered this? Another thing to consider is, when you go to buy your gold and silver, now let's say the price of silver goes down to $11 an ounce. What do you think is going to happen to the premium? Because of what's happening in the market, there's going to be a detachment between the spot price and the premium price. And if you want to buy your Eagles, you're going to have to pay, like, and right now it's like, what, $1.50 premium or $2 premium? You're going to have to pay like a $6 or a $7 premium. So you're right back where you started. You're right back basically close to the price you're paying right now for it. And good luck if you can get some at that point in time. So if you're waiting for your $11 silver, and you haven't got any right now, I'm going to tell you, like Jim Rogers, right? Jim Rogers is loaded right now with gold and silver, and he wants to get more at this $1,000 price for gold. First off, he's not going to get it for exactly $1,000. By the time he pays delivery costs and by the time he pays for his premiums and everything else, he's probably going to be paying $14 an ounce or something. for his silver, and probably going to be paying $11.50 or something for his gold. You know, and he'll be testing it as he puts it into his vault. But he'll get some. You won't get any. And so he's fine because he's already got some right now, and he's not that worried because he's already got a lot. And so if he doesn't get any, he's like not that bothered. But he probably will get some. But you ain't going to get any. And if you haven't got any right now, and you're saying, well, I'm waiting for this cheap stuff, and then you don't get any of the cheap stuff either, then what do you think is going to happen to the price on the other side of this when they create the shortage? The rich guys scoop up all, finally, this is the end move. The end move is for them to scoop up all of the, all that's left, and then the price is going to start shooting upwards. I believe that all of this is going to actually happen before the stock market is even bottomed. So it's going to be all over for the gold and silver before the Fed comes out and even changes policy. And so then gold and silver is going to start to move up rapidly because of the shortage that these guys are going to create. And once it starts to make its move, before the deflation is even over, it's going to make its move up. And once it starts to make its move up, it's never going to look back. Because once the deflation is over, the Fed comes out and they announce their new quantitative easing programs or whatever, then it's really going to shoot to the moon. The rich guys will be packing. They'll have lots of gold and silver. How much are you going to have? This is the big question. Something else to consider. J.P. Morgan, he's been socking it away. And I'm going to tell you right now, he does not get in something and decide to buy it. Like his cost average, he has to cost average because he's constantly buying the stuff. By the time he cost averages, he's probably figuring about $20 an ounce. Now he's bought in, and at 19, maybe $20 an ounce. He's bought like a lot, hundreds of millions. Well, I don't know. A lot. Tens of millions of ounces he's bought. He's got it stored away. He's got vaulting fees. He's got moving fees. He's got fees he has to pay for his people to guard the stuff. And he is not looking to lose money. He's looking to make a profit. Now, why is he buying on this side of the $1,000 gold? Do you think that J.P. Morgan is stupid? J.P. Morgan wants to make at least 10 times his money on that stuff. He didn't buy it to lose money. He's buying it to make money. He knows that this thing is going to shoot to the moon at a certain point in time. What you got to do with gold and silver is you got to pack it away and you got to HODL the stuff. And you're going to make out like a bandit at a certain point in time, not too far into the future. But we're going to have to ride out this deflation and the bankers' manipulation both. And at times, it almost makes you sick. At times, at certain times. Especially if you're going to see the price actually start to drop on this stuff. But believe me, if the price of gold drops under $1,000, you can just imagine what's going to happen to the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. And they might actually be a better bargain to try to scoop up when the bottom hits, rather than try to scoop up gold and silver. So we got a lot of things coming at us. We got a lot of things to think about. I wouldn't, unless you've already got some gold and silver, I wouldn't try to scoop up some of that $1,000 gold like Jim Rogers, unless you really know what you're doing, and unless you can get right in there and get it, because you might not get any. Right now, we're looking at bargain. We're looking at gold and silver being at bargain prices. Right now. I consider right now is probably the best time to buy. Now, this is not financial advice, but the paper system is going down the toilet. It is not going to last. Through history, they've tried paper currencies over and over again, and they always end in failure in the end. This failure is going to be massive. The petrodollar is being undermined. It's being undermined daily. This is what this trade war is all about right now. It's all about defending the petrodollar. The United States right now is sending a fleet into the South China Sea. The Chinese are sending their aircraft carrier. They have one into the South China Sea. They're going to meet in the same area. They are both on guard to attack. South China Sea's been a very disputed area for quite some time now. The Chinese are building islands there that they're very protective over. Trade wars have been well known to lead to hot wars. It's not unthinkable to think of a war between China and the United States on the ocean in the South China Sea. It's absolutely not unthinkable, and it's not unthinkable to think that that war would not spread to nuclear war. It would mostly be a conventional war fought with ships. But it would be a very much of a cooling of relations, and that's a very much of an understatement between the United States and China, which would be then perceived as the enemy, and it would be more than just tariffs. It might be an outright ban on all Chinese goods. So listen, thank you guys for listening. Like and subscribe, and we'll catch you in the next show.